Philanthropy and Rotary walk hand in hand, serving through passion projects locally and globally. Today, myself, Vijayanti Saharia Pugalia from Rotary Club of Calcutta Avyanna is going to be in conversation with some amazing women who are our members. And today, joining to me first-handedly is Aparna Banerjee, who's been our secretary and is our present serving secretary and president nominee. And next year, she would be coming up as the president-elect. Hi, Aparna. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Vijayanti?
I'm absolutely great, and I'm looking forward to some amazing conversation with you.
Okay, me too.
Yes, I would like to begin by understanding that your family has served our country through nations, through their lot of love for the kind of work they've put in to bring the community closer and better. And you imbibed that from a very, very early childhood days of yours.
Yes.
So
yes, true.
Would you like to share your thoughts on your love towards this passion of yours?
Yes, as I said, that in my the service towards nation has been imbibed in me since my childhood. I've seen my father, my brother working for the nation without selflessly, and so that has always astonished me and put a deep mark inside the core of me.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
so that due to that, I'm always inclined towards doing a better job for the community.
Of course, and what better way than get connected to Rotary in a more organized format that Rotary has.
Yes.
But then to talk more about yourself, I also know your love for plants as a biochemist. So what would you like to tell us about this integral dialogue with plants that you have?
Oh yes, I have been in love with plants and nature from the very early stages in my life. I used to study about them, and I did my personal research, and also I did a research in Calcutta University, and I have been interested whatever is going on inside the plant. The outside anatomy is quite interesting, but the thing that intrigued me most was what was going on inside them, just as human beings, So that drew me towards the studies of biochemistry.
That's very interesting to know what is going on inside the plants.
Mm-hmm.
And if we talk about what is going on inside the plants, it's so mumuch of medicinal value is well there,
Yes, yes,
And I'm sure you must be using plants to a level where, you bypass the allopathy way of treating any ailments and reach out the plants for that support. So what would you say about that?
Yeah, allopathic medicines, they always have a side effect that we tend to ignore. But what I see that there are many medicinal plants that the universe has given us, And the first example is if you get minor injury or wounds, if you take marigold leaves and make a paste of that and apply it to the wound, it heals up faster.
Absolutely.
Without any side effect.
And I think the world is now going back to this ancient studies that were, probably followed by our forefathers.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going back to, those treatments to heal ourselves internally and externally. And if I'm talking about your work and passion, I also know that you as an entrepreneur has really come up with your family business. So I would like to ask you, what is your product and what is so intriguing about your product?
Well, my product is in the lower rungs of entrepreneurship. It is our idea is to spread our products to remote places where people can afford them and keep them safe from the harsh winters. So I was always passionate about that the more I can manufacture those products and the more the people can afford it, then that will be my dream come true.
Did you start this journey of making this product, keeping in mind that it should be affordable more?
Yes.
And long-lasting more?
Yes, since this is my family business, so it started very early. But I came after that and started enhancing those products to make them more affordable to people, those who are living in remote places.
So give me an example about these products. Actually, what are they?
These products are skin-friendly, pure cotton body warmers that can protect you from the harsh winters.
That's amazing. That's really nice, because I think if some products are in the market by entrepreneurs which target the lower economic section of the community, so I think that's where I think it's very good for the entire society to come up forward and not just have the hierarchy accessing the products. And yes, if I'm talking about your journey in Rotary now, with 2 years of being our secretary, and now after being the president nominee this year to the president-elect in the coming up year, how has your journey been, and how are you able to make this jump from being a secretary to next year now to running for you such an important role? So what are your thoughts on your journey with Rotary?
Well, being a secretary has taught me a lot about how a Rotary club functions efficiently. And there are many important things that we should look into. Number one, it should be fellowship, membership retention, and communication with all the members of the club.
Absolutely.
That is very important for the club to run efficiently.
Yes.
So I have seen this for the 2 consecutive years being the secretary, and there are many other intricacies, and that I have looked into. And then
I think what you're trying to say is about to highlight fellowship,
yes,
and get more members on board, so that
course,
everyone serves better and everyone grows together to serve the community. Because as we both know, being a Calcutta Avyanna's, that fellowship is very, very important.
Yes, yes.
So obviously that. But then yes, I want to ask you, this transition that you feel inside for the secretarial role in Rotary, is it because in your personal life also you're very particular about making a list, not forgetting this, doing that, being very, hands-on to everything that's happening in your day-to-day life? Like a reckoner. No wonder Rotary Avyanna has chosen you secretary back-to-back for 2 years.
Yes, initially I was a very introvert and a quite unorganized person, but becoming a secretary and moving into 2 years of journey of secretariatship, I have learned that to be organized is the key role that plays into one's life.
I will agree to that.
An individual can progress only if he or she is disciplined, and that is important.
Absolutely. So, viewers, here I have Aparna with me, who is so dynamic with her approach in her personal life, from being an entrepreneur. And yes, a very, very hidden fact about her, that she loves the piano and the painting. Yes. So yes, before we end the conversation with her today, I would like you to talk about this aspect of your life.
See, I'm a self-taught artist. I haven't learned from any master painter, but it is my passion, and I go on painting, and that is a kind of meditation for me.
Absolutely.
It relaxes me.
Connecting piano, music, and painting is meditative. Yes. Absolutely, Aparna. And I was speaking to you sometime before, and I was asking you, how do you manage all these different roles? And you said something very interesting to me. Would you like to tell that to our viewers today?
Oh, of course, yes. It is said that behind every successful man, there's a woman. But what I say is that it is also vice versa. Behind every successful woman, there has to be a man. Both go side by side, hand in hand. That's what I want to say.
So here we are again, we women giving the credit to men, and we don't leave a stone unturned. Yes. Without doing so. So thank you, Aparna, for being with me today. And you all there, don't leave that particular seat of yours wherever you're hooked on to. Grab that mug of coffee, because we have some more amazing women who are going to be in conversation with me, and we will know more about their love, life, and passion for Rotary. Thank you, Aparna.
Thank you, Vijayanti.
Hello, everyone. Women have played transformative role in philanthropy, in shaping philanthropy. And they have been leaders and pioneers in this field. But it comes from deep-rooted passion which they carry in their hearts from wherever in the world they are. And today, such a fine woman is joining with me, who is Indrani Sen. Hi, Indrani.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing great, and I'm so excited to actually talk to you because your profile is so intriguing. Like, you have relocated to India after 30 years.
Yes.
And your connection now in serving through Rotary and your previous years of your work is something I'm sure the viewers would like to know more about.
Okay.
But let's go back, I think, to the days when I should call you the woman of science.
Yes.
So tell me about your inclination towards science.
Okay, it's all started with, of course, I come from a family of science, like doctors and my father being a doctor and my sister being a nuclear physicist. So, I went into nuclear biochemistry. I was with the Bhabha Atomic Research Center in Bombay, because I'm from Bombay. I was born and brought up there. And then I was doing my research in the atomic biochemistry lab there. Got married and then went through the usual homemaker role a bit. Because
I'm sure that must be beautiful as well. Yes.
Yeah, so husband being busy, and then I had a child, so it went that way. And then we relocated to Middle East, where I was teaching. So I just took up a teaching role in the university. After that, we relocated to US, where most of my life has actually been. And I was doing clinical research in the pharmaceutical industry. That is, you work on the medical, on the drugs before and they are tested on humans before they actually come out in the market to be available to
That's very interesting.
So that's what I was doing. And then I gave it up because, going back hit us, both of us, because my son, he relocated to Spain.
Okay.
And he liked it there. And then we thought that we'll come back to our homeland to serve the community. And both me and my husband do that in our own way.
To stay focused on your work, as you say, teaching and then doing all of these experiments, running in between cultures, Middle East, Mumbai, then US, where you say most of your life has been. How have you stayed rooted, to your convictions, to your culture, to your focus? Because everywhere it's so dynamic around you.
It is. But, I feel that whatever, you grew up with in your first formative years, that's what stays.
That stays with you.
That stays with you. So that doesn't go.
That doesn't go.
No, it doesn't go. So wherever you are in the world, so I grew up with, and my parents, grandparents. So, whatever culture was imbibed in me in my formative years, that stayed.
But then I would like to know, as a woman and then as a teacher in Middle East, how was the adaptation for you and for your students?
That was a very challenging one.
Yes.
I think that was the most challenging of my jobs.
Yes.
Because you all must be knowing that Middle East, they have a problem in accepting Indians and brown skin as so. So when they saw one brown skin teacher, so they were not very happy initially.
Absolutely.
And then
I asked you this question because,
they always expect
Yes.
a white skin to teach them.
Right.
But that was something that, I did have to grow with them and, talk it over with them. And then, once they grew attached to, what I was teaching them,
Absolutely.
and they found that, they were learning something. And then it was a very nice 5 years that we had a very good rapport.
So I'm sure, Indrani, our viewers would like to know that what did you take back from the Middle East? As you say that your time in the Middle East was the toughest one. Later on, everything settled. But I'm sure there must have been emotional impact, something that has been with you till today. Would you like to share that?
Yes. So the biggest thing, I think, it helped me in the transition, because this was a transitory period between India, then Middle East, and then I went westwards.
Absolutely.
So I think, first of all, the students were, from the Arab world. The staff was basically more or less British, but there were some US people. So, so you had, and I was the only Indian there. So there was this whole cultural mix which was going on. And I think that was a stepping stone for me to go into the West and then adapt to, to the corporate world in the West.
Corporate world into the West, into the pharmaceutical.
In the pharmaceuticals.
So why pharma? What intrigued you in pharma?
Pharma is going back to my BRC days.
Absolutely, yes.
So it's a connection between my BRC days with the pharma. It was more or less the same. And so I was working with Bristol Myers Squibb and Eli Lilly, so the top 5 pharmas, and then mostly in the oncology sector. So it was mostly chemo drugs, that research that I was working into.
And as you said that you were into the process of testing it more on
humans.
On humans.
Yeah, so we have
under these programs on which the humans would register the.
Yeah, they would be registering. So we have 3 phases.
Right.
So phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 trials.
Absolutely.
So and then once it goes to the FDA.
Right.
And then FDA approves it.
Absolutely.
And then it comes out in the market.
So we have a brainy in there, women, yes. And then you relocate yourself into India. So how has your, have you been working since you are back in the country, or is it you're concentrating on another passion which has always been there with you, which is philanthropy?
It's only philanthropy for me now.
So you don't miss your work?
No, actually, I won't lie that, initially first 6 months was tough.
Yeah.
But once I really got into the meat of this philanthropic work, I really enjoy it. So I'm completely into philanthropy.
Right.
And yes, I've kind of retired from my work.
So being into pharma, into experiments, into being a nuclear biochemist, have you ever spilled coffee in your lab and called it radioactive waste?
No. Really, no.
Really?
I'll tell you why. Because this I have something that I have learned in Bark that you don't do.
Okay. Okay.
So because there I used to work under complete radioactive environment.
Right.
So so yes. So answer to your questions,
all
no.
The formulas and all the calculations and the different corners of the being a biochemist. How are you applying that chemistry between humans in Rotary?
The chemistry between humans and Rotary, you don't really have to be a biochemist. So I feel that, so it's my first time in Rotary. I've been here for 2 years now, so nearly 2 years. And I feel that the energy here is fantastic. And being an all-women's club is even better. And
why do you say it's better?
Because the camaraderie is fantastic. I think we all get along very well and we all have the same passion.
Absolutely.
Which I find, and coming, being completely new even to the city.
Absolutely.
Being new to Rotary or even to the city.
So why did you choose Rotary? It could have been any other philanthropic organization without naming them, but why did you choose Rotary?
There are some philanthropic organizations that I was working with,
right.
But I always wanted to have work in a much more organized kind of, setup.
Right.
Rather than, just doing something and then, stopping somewhere and then again starting somewhere.
Right.
So that's not something that I would have enjoyed.
And I also hear that you are aiming as a Paul Harris Fellow.
Yes.
So that's interesting and amazing. And so much of this small contribution as a fellow Paul Harris myself, that I think I can communicate with you and say that so much of good is brought into this world if all the members become Paul Harris, and so much better good can be done and more magic created as a theme of Rotary. Don't you agree about that?
Yes, and coming from a double Paul Harris, I think yes, I do.
No, that's very kind of you to say. So, viewers, here we are with this amazing woman, Indrani, and you will not deny the fact that women are here with deep-rooted empathy towards their life, passion, families, and philanthropy, specifically Rotary here, like Indrani, and they are going to leave a legacy behind for others to imbibe and follow, where they too, like Rotary, would believe it's service above self. So thank you, Indrani.
Thank you,
with me today. And yes, do you know that we have this amazing another lady coming in and going to be in conversation? So yes, viewers, stay tuned, and here is this amazing woman coming ahead and talking with you and me in an amazing conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Where there are large organizations of philanthropy who aim at systematic, larger impact, Rotary is here to work at a grassroots level. They work and they believe in local action with global unity, where the leadership is focused on touching lives as many as possible. And who can tell us better about it other than our running president for the year 24-25? I'm here with Chandre, and I'm sure she's going to highlight her love for Rotary. But before that, I would like to ask you, Chandre, you as an educationist, how did that inclination to become an educationist come up into your hearts and minds and your beliefs?
Well, I feel, to take it forward, whatever I have taken from my parents, from the elders, from the society, and from the books, which have always been my very strong friends, why not give it back to the less privileged, to the children, so that the world becomes a better place? And that kind of brought, that is my passion, to spread whatever little I know to the rest of the world. If that helps in making the world a better place, then I think being an educationist helps you in that endeavor. So,
and as I understand that one does need to be very good in studies to be a great educationist?
No, it's not. Educationist is just not academics. Of course, you have certain yardsticks which you have to qualify.
Right.
But a good teacher is one who is also a good learner, who listens to the other side.
Absolutely.
So, our mothers have been such great teachers, our friends, our grandparents, everyone we associate with. But you will see that they have always been great listeners. They've listened to the other side. So a good teacher is one who listens. Listens.
Absolutely.
And listens to the voices of those who otherwise would be shy to say. You take it out from them.
Absolutely.
So that is a good teacher, I feel.
Absolutely. And being an educationist, Chandre, you could have aimed at any big school, any established school with great pay scales, etc. But you chose here an education entity which is government funded, where I think you have to work harder to bring knowledge to the table. So why did you choose this and not the easy way out?
Well, because government schools cater to children who have nowhere else. They can't afford to go to elite schools. And in elite schools, you have teachers, you have parents, and they can have help elsewhere too. But these children have only a school to come to, and you are more responsible then. You become more responsible to teach them. And if you teach this level of children, then you educate the entire family who have never been educated. They have not been as lucky as you and me. So it brings a kind of fulfillment, a sense of feeling worthwhile. And of course, on the lighter side, it is a good job too, a government job.
Absolutely. But then how do you manage, the shortcomings, the deadlines, or the desires which go hand in hand to bring the best to these children in your school? I mean, how will it be okay to ask you that? I'm sure you have to work beyond the government aid. So
Absolutely.
how do you put your hands and toes together to work for that?
Well, for that, I must thank Rotary, because, you know, in my school at least, we have had Rotary not only from this year, but also the years of my past president of our club and other clubs too, whom I've approached, and they have brought so much into my school. You know, like we've painted the walls, we've put water filters, we've rebuilt the toilets, whatnot. We have, you know, now this year we're also making a smart classroom. Then we've kind of, you know, even the desks and the benches have been repaired, all through Rotary. So this is where Rotary and, you know, education comes hand in hand.
And yes, and I can see that you're actually trying to fill the gap between the A class schools and the government aid schools, where you're trying to make e-classes, you know, where you're trying to make internet availability and sustainability even more.
Of course, as you said, smart class we've introduced, and you know, in our club we have this program called Angrezi Medium.
Absolutely.
So where a girl from Sundarban area her mentor is a student from New Jersey, who also happens to be my nephew. So you know how we connect globally. This is only possible through Rotary, and possible because I'm teaching in a government school.
So, yes, I've asked this question to, I think, another member, but I would like to ask you, as a president, as an educationist, there's so much of time I see you and the past presidents manage between their home. And I think there's nothing wrong in asking a woman this question, is because a woman is the leader at home. And if she is working outside, whether as a philanthropist or in a corporate world, she is out there to outsmart others. How do you manage, how are the people in your lives taking your role as a president, as a philanthropist? How do you manage everything put together?
Well, to that I will say,
again, don't give the credit to a man, because most of my previous people in conversation have given the credit to the man. So what would you like to give the credit to?
I would say to everyone around me, to the members of the Rotary Club, like you, like others, wherever I've asked for help, you've jumped in. So have the others. Similarly, in my family, my son or my husband, they've given up the driver for the day when my driver didn't come. These little things. And also friends elsewhere too, I've approached them that we need to do this project, it'll be good. They have come forward and contributed.
So by not serving directly to Rotary also,
but they have all served
so
together.
I think that is the magic of Rotary.
That is the magic.
Absolutely. So being an educationist, I feel like asking you this question, that if children are supposed to learn from their mistakes, so why do you all teachers get so hassled when they mistake on a paper, in the exam paper? Let them make that mistake and get away with it.
Yes, true. And I belong to that category of teachers who say, well, you've made a mistake. Now you see there is a system. So we can't go beyond the system, it being a regimented system. But in the classroom, we leave our kids alone sometimes.
So that's your way of saying it. But I'm sure not most of the teachers would be as lenient as you. But yes, and now as your role as a president, so many projects you have been doing.
Thank you.
You have done in your tenure. And I would like to ask you two questions. One, has an all-women body of Rotary that you're attached to has made your journey as a president easier than what you would have been in any normal other club?
Well, yes, because, every woman is a multitasker. So, so when you approach a woman for a project, or say for writing a report of the project, or going for a project, if one cannot, she always says, today I cannot, but I think this friend is free. So, the teamwork is much stronger, I feel, in an all-women club.
A woman is the enemy of a woman.
Not in Rotary Club of Calcutta Avyanna, and you know it very well. So we are a vibrant club, always standing behind each other. and we love it.
So you think your journey as a president is easier because over here the camaraderie of women is all women, I should say, and all there to help one another at the time of
Oh,
need?
definitely. I feel that. And fellowship being one of the
Absolutely.
pillars of Rotary.
Absolutely.
We party, we go out together, not just for Rotary, even outside Rotary. So that bonhomie, affects the work in Rotary too.
Absolutely, I think that is.
And I've found some such good friends, as I say. I found friends to whom in Rotary, where I deposit a problem and I come out, they give me a grand solution.
That's amazing.
So that's the gift of Rotary.
Amazing. So, other than talking about the magic of Rotary, we also have a gift of Rotary.
Rotary, right.
Amazing. So many projects again, Chandra.
Thank you.
Name a project. I know it's difficult to ask, the mother to name which child one she likes more, but which project, according to you, was the most toughest to execute?
Well, the toughest to execute was definitely, I'd say, putting a solar installation in the correctional home at Alipur, because you have a lot of government paraphernalia too. And but if we took it up as a challenge, because it is also quite expensive. So connecting to the right people who empathized with this idea of making walking towards a greener world and where it is most needed. So there were quite a few challenges to implement that, but thankfully today, in fact, I got the good news that the project has been executed.
That's amazing, and
Yes.
congratulations
Thank you.
to you and your
Thank
team.
you, and to you
And
too.
yes, absolutely. And lastly, to ask you, what advice would you like to be giving to the president who is coming in your place next year? Any experience, any takeaway that you feel as a leader focused this year you would like to share with our upcoming president?
Well, I would tell her that, concentrate on your members, because they are the treasure, they are the gift. And if you concentrate on your members and have a good relationship with them, they'll stand by you. And whatever project comes, you can implement it successfully. It's all teamwork.
So there you are, viewers. I have our President Chandra with us, and she, along with the others that I was with in conversation, have laid out a beautiful frame for you, that Rotary is not just about serving others, it's also about your inner growth, where you learn so much, you believe in others, you make yourself useful, and you serve right from a local to a global unit. And that's what Rotary is all about, more organized, more focused, and where each member is taken into account for the better good, and that is the magic of Rotary. So thank you,
Thank you,
Chandra, for being with
Vaijanti.
me today. And I'm
you so
sure the
much.
viewers have loved listening to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing so much to the table in your tenure. And we are both looking forward to the upcoming
next
year.
one.
Yes.
And so it's like a baton, It started with the charter president, and every president takes the baton forward. And I'm
Absolutely.
sure the next year is going to be again a
Remarkable.
grand year.
Absolutely. Thank you
So
all
on
so
that
much for
note-
joining us today.
Thank you.